Welcome back. Well, an ICE officer fatally shot a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis yesterday. Authorities say she used her vehicle to try and run over federal officers during an enforcement operation. Take a look. The Department of Homeland Security is calling this an act of domestic terrorism. The officers were trying to get her out of the car. She ignored their order and slammed the gas pedal. And obviously, another agent saw this and reacted and shot her. President Trump posted on Truth Social, "I have just viewed the clip. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting." The president said she viciously ran over the officer. Take a look at the video from another angle. We've got a different angle here because we want to really get to the bottom of this. This is the first video that we saw where the officers are trying to get her out of the car. She ignores them. Here's another video from the front, and we actually see the car from the front actually hitting an officer in the leg, and he walks away partly limping. The video obviously is part of an investigation that the FBI is doing. Protests broke out across the country after the shooting. Several Democrats immediately called this murder, even before the investigation took place, even before the FBI could actually investigate. Joining me now is Ohio Congressman and the Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan. Mr. Chairman, your reaction to this deadly shooting?
Well, this ICE officer was defending himself and his colleagues, and instead of elected officials on the other side criticizing him, maybe they should stop promoting what we've seen now for this whole year, which is you have rioters and others interfering with federal law enforcement officials doing their job. They're doxing them, they're harassing them, they're interfering with them when they're actually out there trying to do their job as enforcers of federal law. And then it all goes back to this jurisdiction where they're sanctuary jurisdiction, sanctuary cities, sanctuary states. And again, that I think has just led to this terrible situation where someone lost their life. But the officer is defending himself, defending his colleagues as they're trained to do. But the left is they're gonna say what they're gonna say. I mean, think about how bad it was, Maria. Last year you had the judge in Milwaukee. The good guys are coming in the front door to arrest the bad guy, and she lets him go out the back door. That's what happens when you have this left-wing mindset in these sanctuary jurisdictions. It is ridiculous, and I think the country understands that.
Well, I mean, you know, a woman is dead, and yet instead of, toning it down, the Democrats are ramping it up in terms of the rhetoric. Yeah. And, I mean, after, Charlie Kirk was murdered, President Trump had 2 assassination attempts. When is this going to stop? And yet yesterday, after this happened and protesters broke out, the FBI doesn't even begin the investigation, and yet this is what we hear all over television. Watch this.
What we saw today was a criminal murder a woman and shoot her in the head while she was trying to escape and flee for her life.
Sadly, this was not unexpected, but it is egregious. It was an outright murder.
Masked officers murdered a woman in her car.
Congressman, your reaction?
Well, I mean, that's the left always calls law enforcement the bad guys for actually doing their job, protecting themselves, defending themselves, defending their colleagues. But they never will call the person who was resisting arrest. That's obvious from the video. The person who was engaged in this rioting, who was resisting arrest, who ran their car towards an official, they're never at fault. So I don't understand that mindset. I think most Americans don't understand that mindset. But today's left, I will never forget a few years ago when Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders gave the response to the State of the Union, and she said the divide in America today is normal versus crazy. And every position the left takes seems to be crazy. They always side. They never side with law enforcement. They're always they're the ones for defunding the police. They're the ones for open borders. They're the ones who has the guy who's now the mayor of our largest city, who says we got to get rid of rugged individualism and replace it with collectivism. Like what? That's not America. I mean, so every position they take is crazy, and you just see it time and time again. The people have common sense, and as I said before, I think the American people understand what's really going on.
Well, I don't know what Mamdani and his housing official were talking about the other day. To your point, you know, you work your whole life to afford to buy a home. You buy a home, and then you've got to hear from this person who just got the job as a housing official in New York City that, you know, you're going to have a new relationship with your property, that it's got to be collectivism. Are we supposed to be letting in strangers and sharing our home? I mean, I have no idea what that meant.
New relationship with your property. Yeah, new relationship with your property. I think we used to call that stealing. But this is this, you know, get rid of this rugged individualism that made America the greatest country ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think of like Lewis and Clark, the Wright brothers. I think about that. That's America, and replace it with communism, with collectivism. Yeah. That is frightening stuff. But this is the guy who's their party, who just got elected to the largest city in our country. And it just goes to show again how crazy the left is. I think this midterm election coming up, Maria, is so simple. Tell the American people what we've done for them. Cut their taxes, secured the border. President Trump has made sure Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons, and on we could go. And then never forget to always remind them how crazy the left is. They want to defund the police. They want an open border and everything else.
Well, in an election year, it's even worse because the Democrats are watching every comment made that it might affect, you know, November and the midterms. Look, you said it just then. You've got your work and your policy changes to show the American people going into the midterm. So why did the president the other day talk to you and your colleagues and say, look, they're going to impeach me if you don't win the midterms? You know, is this a messaging problem? The policies seem to be working. The economy's doing well. It feels good. And yet people are worried about affordability. And you're worried about the president getting impeached and the Democrats taking over in November?
Well, you're right. The economy is, I think, moving. What we had like 4% growth last quarter. Gas prices are coming down. I think you'll see other prices begin to come down that are going to help families, particularly younger families looking to buy that first home. So I think we got amazing. Go tell them what we've done. Tell them what we're going to continue to do, which will help on the cost of goods and services out there. And as I said, remind the voters how crazy the left is. That is this campaign, in my judgment. But if we don't win, President Trump's right. Because for a decade now, they've went after him. And if they get to control the House, there'll be impeachment number 3 from these guys. We know that's coming. That's why it's incumbent upon us to make sure we do everything we can to keep the House and keep these good policies coming for the American people.
And the House Oversight Committee held a hearing on Minnesota's fraud yesterday. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer warned that Governor Tim Walz could end up in handcuffs over his role in this alleged scheme. AG Pam Bondi dispatched more federal prosecutors to the state to dig deeper into the potential misuse of federal money. Congressman, you pressed a Minnesota state lawmaker at the hearing. Let's take a watch.
Actually, I want to go to March 30th, 2021. Is it true back in March of 2021, the Minnesota Department of Education suspended payments to Feeding Our Future, that program? Is that right?
I believe that's correct.
And then a month later, they resumed payments.
That's correct.
What caused them to change their mind?
In my opinion, what caused them to change their mind was pushback from their constituency within the Somali community, who accused the state agencies of being racist.
But what caused them to stop it in the first place? Was it whistleblowers coming forward?
The reason they stopped the funds in the first place is because they had credible allegations that there was fraud taking place.
From whistleblowers and others.
Correct.
And just they're doing their job, looking, this doesn't make sense. We got all these programs, no one's getting fed, and yet money's going out the door like crazy. So they suspended it. And then they started it back up, right? Was there any threat of a lawsuit from the Somali community and folks affiliated with Feeding Our Future?
Mr. Jordan, there was more than a threat. They actually did it.
They did? And what was the alleged claim in that lawsuit?
That they were victims of racial discrimination.
Oh, they played the race card, huh? All this fraud going on, money going out, and they played the race card. Now, was when I talked about not just overlooking it.
So, Congressman, now what? I mean, you know, Nick Shirley uncovers all this fraud, daycare centers with no kids in them. All this money going to the daycare centers, and they're not even operating, and you've got this hearing. What did you learn yesterday?
Well, we learned how pervasive this was. It was over 15 years we learned from those lawmakers from Minnesota, and they were shaking down the American taxpayer from all different federal agencies. I mean, agencies involved: Department of Agriculture, Department of Education, Housing, Urban Development, Health and Human Services, Small Business Administration. So I think it was 6 different federal agencies where American tax dollars were being just taken by fraudsters in Minnesota. Well, now here's the good news. There are 2 other federal agencies now involved, namely the FBI and the Department Department of Justice, and 68 people have been indicted. 2 people affiliated with that program have already been indicted, convicted, and are in jail awaiting sentencing. So the Justice Department's getting involved as well. They should.
All right, we will be watching all of that. Are you saying that there will be criminal referrals here?
There may in fact be that as well, but the Justice Department's already there. The U.S. Attorney's already doing it. And as we pointed out, that this is as old as time. The left will tell a lie. We're feeding kids when they're not. Media will report it. And then when you tell the truth, they call you racist. It's the oldest playbook in the world. But we're getting past all that and focusing on the facts and holding people accountable.
Yeah, well, we've seen it a couple times. That's true. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jim Jordan on Capitol Hill. We'll be right back. Stay with us.